Hi, I'm David Penn. I'm the research analyst with the Finovate Group, and joining me today is Jeff Tinsley. He is the CEO of Mylife. Jeff, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
First, let's get a little bit of a background. When was the company founded? You said it's been around for a little bit of time, and where are you based?
The company has been around for quite a while. We actually were founded in 2002. We started out as a very different business than we are today. For the last 5 years, we actually have been focused on reputation, and we have the leading reputation platform out there. We're based in Los Angeles. Our objective as a company is to try and make make consumers safer, and the marketplaces that they use actually more trusted. So what a marketplace is for us is, a site that connects people that don't know each other, really strangers. When you're dating or doing business with others, you're looking at hiring a nanny or a contractor, or really if you're doing any kind of e-commerce online. Buying and selling is a risky business nowadays, especially in the world of COVID. There are a lot of scams going on. So our objective is to make the consumer safer, as I mentioned, make those places they use more trusted, and very importantly, of course, give people the ability to make themselves look their best online, improve their own reputation online. So the way we do that is by helping people know what's out there about them, giving them tools to manage that information so that we can affect their lives, personally and professionally in a positive way.
Sure. Now, you said before that in some ways, the reputation scores that your company is able to provide are similar and different from credit scores. Can you maybe talk about how they're similar and different?
Sure. So we do have information on almost everybody in the United States. So that you can look people up or also look yourself up to see what's out there and manage your information. And we do have proprietary reputation scores, similar to FICO scores in some respect, but ours are on a 0 to 5 scale. Now, to be clear, we're not a consumer reporting agency. This is something different than what FICO does, but we have really modeled our business after what FICO and the credit bureaus have done, which is allow people to access information about others and assess risk. But we go a little bit further in terms of providing tools to help people manage the way they look so we can, have a positive effect on their lives. But there are definitely some similarities, between our business and our whole approach to theirs. At the end of the day, we're trying to create really a layer of safety and trust across the internet, and really hope to have a positive impact on everybody's life by helping them take control of that public perception that people have when someone searches for them online.
Yeah, it's really interesting. We were talking a little bit before about how in so many ways credit scores are key parts of a person's financial profile, and there's quite a bit of utility to them. But there is a very specific role that they play, and then in some instances they've been used in roles that they weren't originally intended for, sometimes with some really unfortunate consequences. And you think about something like a reputation score, which actually is much broader and takes into account so many other factors. It's really interesting to see the rise of that. Just hearing you talk about the different types of marketplaces, not just financial transaction marketplace, but relationship marketplaces, so to speak.
Right.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. We think so too. We say internally, really, we see that your reputation. We think your reputation is more important than credit.
Yeah.
With a good reputation, it opens up, personal and professional and financial opportunities for you, and so we think it's actually a layer above. Not to offend any of your audience. I mean, we are partnering with a lot of the credit and identity monitoring companies, but we think it's an important part in this day and age of the the ecosystem and of everybody's life. It's critical you look your best online, and like I said, there are definitely similarities to what the credit market has done historically. We pull together information, just as the credit guys started and that FICO guys started, pull information together from a variety of sources, help people understand what it means to basically assess risk on one side of it. And on the other side of our service, of course, we're trying to help you become aware and to give you the tools to do your best so that you can look your best to help your own life. But yeah, we think reputation is more important than credit. And there's there is an absolute need for this kind of information and these services that we provide to make the internet safer and to make a positive impact on people's lives by helping them look their best.
Yeah, it really seems almost like a necessary, one of the things that now that you've done it, it seems like almost a necessary thing to have to exist, that once you get on the internet and everyone's sort of wandering around bumping into each other, there needs to be an etiquette. There needs to be
right. You need to be responsible for your past.
way.
It's sorry to interrupt. I think there's a little bit of a connection problem. I'm sitting in the garage here.
Understanding who is, oh, you're fine.
But yes, I mean, unfortunately, there are a lot of people online that pretend to be other folks, that do bad things, including scamming other individuals. And, it's a critical need that people have the ability to assess who they're with whom they're engaging in, in a dating context and all these different contexts, including buying and selling online. There are a ton of scams out there, and in the world of COVID-19, they're becoming even more prevalent.
Yeah. You mentioned personal, something representing themselves. That simple act is one of the biggest sources of fraud folks have to deal with. And now, again, in this era of the pandemic, has become all the more of a problem.
Yeah, I mean, people lie about who they are online all the time. I mean, just in a dating context, we've found that 30 to 40% of people in dating platforms are completely fake people, and they tend to perpetuate scams. And the FTC said, just put something out in, I think, January, that talked about how romance scams are the single biggest scam area online, and it grew 40%. Well, the FBI believes that this is fraud and scams online are a 15 to 20 billion dollar problem every single year, and that's what we're trying to affect. I mean, we're trying to help people not get taken advantage of, trying to reduce the amount of fraud and scams going on, but at the same time, help the good guys, get the best opportunity out in their personal and professional lives with the tools we have.
Right. Now, one thing we talked about a little bit is Mylife has sort of operates on two different business models. It both goes direct to consumer with some of the offerings, and you talked about that, and then also business to business relationships. Maybe you could talk a little bit about both.
Sure. Well, the mylife.com site itself is actually a well-trafficked site, so you probably notice that when you search for someone in Google or on Bing, you often see reputation profiles from Mylife actually appear in the listing. So we make it easy for people to find out more information about others. But the part that we're getting about 15 million unique visitors a month, which is fantastic. What we're really excited about is the partnerships that we've been able to put together with marketplaces like dating sites, home services sites, any site that connects people that don't know each other. So those are exciting partnerships that we have some in place, and we're pursuing more to make those places more trusted and make the consumers that use them safer. And then on the on the managing your own reputation side, we've partnered with a number of credit bureaus, credit monitoring and identity monitoring companies, and that's really who your conference is focused on. I know this is there is a direct relationship between your reputation and what it is that many of the companies that are listening to this right now actually provide, which is credit and identity monitoring. And it's critically important that individuals manage their online reputation. It affects their lives arguably more than just their financials. And so we've had tremendous success partnering with the credit and identity companies. And this is kind of like it's almost like, when the credit bureaus jumped to the identity monitoring kind of space, and that became a big space, very important. Well, this is kind of the next evolution of that, another critical area that consumers need to monitor and manage. And we're having great success with the companies that we're already working with and trying to partner with everybody out there.
Sure. So let's talk about this. In terms of fraud, how does Mylife work in protecting people against fraud, sort of generally speaking, that you've talked about, and all the more so given some of the additional challenges with the COVID-19 crisis?
Good question. So, first of all, marketplaces, sites and services that actually connect people that don't know each other continue to grow at a ridiculous pace. there is simply a need to know more about the folks that you're engaging with, whether it's for, dating purposes or business purposes, et cetera, because there is a prevalence of scams actually taking place. And it was the FTC just put out, I think it was in January of this past year, some information about how romance scams are actually the #1 category of fraud that's taking place out there. And the FBI has put out some information that pegs the impact of fraud and scamming being much bigger, going beyond romance scams. A lot of people are getting taken advantage of when they're buying and selling online, as well as when they're trying to date online. The FBI thinks the number is more aligned with somewhere around the $15 to $20 billion mark in the United States. So what we're trying to do is help people know more, of course, about the other folks that they're engaging with, so they are not taken advantage of, and at the same time providing tools to help people manage the way they look, so the good guys can actually look their best, and hopefully we can make a positive impact on their personal lives as well as their professional lives. So let's say if you're buying or selling in particular online. So that's our objective: make the internet safer, become a layer of the internet that makes consumers safer and the marketplaces more trusted, and helps the good guys look their best online.
Without a doubt. So by way of wrapping up, what can we expect from Mylife maybe in the balance of 2020 or early next year? What do you think some of the things that you might be working on?
Yeah, you actually got me excited with that question, believe it or not, because we have a big goal. We're trying to make, create a layer of safety and trust across the internet, at least in the United States to start, and it's a big market here. Really hope to make a real dent in terms of the amount of fraud and scamming that's going on, and very importantly, help people, look their best and have a positive impact on their lives. We're getting more and more traction in terms of marketplaces that want to work with us because they see the benefit of, making their sites safer, that it can help them attract more audience. And then the credit and identity monitoring companies we've been working with and talking to, we already have had some great success, but really hope to get our services rolled out to more of those partners, because it's important for the individuals and the partners themselves, since we're doing partnership deals that involve sharing of revenue. They're doing extremely well, and we hope to cover the entire landscape within the next 12 months. So this is a really exciting time for us, and it's it's an idea whose time has come. So we're happy to be the only platform actually focused on this critical area of the internet and trying to make a positive impact out there.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Really great to see, and really great to learn about the company and the work you're doing. I think for those of us who see so much promise with the internet, with 5G coming on, and the opportunity to be even more engaged in so many different ways, we're going to need some things to help keep us safe. And some of the technologies you're talking about, I think, are the kinds of things that can do just that.
Yes, thank you very much for appreciating that. We're excited about our mission, what we're trying to do.
Sounds good. Well, thanks again for joining us. Thanks for telling us a little bit about Mylife. We invite all of our listeners, attendees, to go to the website, check it out, and learn a little bit more about Jeff and the company.
Yeah, real quick, you can go to mylife.com, type in your name to see what's out there about you and affect your life. Or, if you're one of the companies we want to partner with, please. We have partnership links on the site. We want to work with you. This is an important service for consumers and a really substantial revenue opportunity for everyone.
Excellent. Do that. Well, thank you very much again for joining us.
Thank you so much.